Hello YouTube, Marielle here. I'd like to share with you, and I hope he'll make you smile or laugh, just like it does me whenever I remember it or it comes to mind. The thing that happens a lot in the dynamic within my family is that my wolf and the children form a solid block, with me on the outside, either looking in or just not being quite included. And another thing as well that happens is, I suppose my wolf really set this dynamic to encourage the kids, to separate me from the kids, and encourage the kids to get used to lie to me, to defy me, to ostracize me, to have no respect really for me. And this is something he has literally started. It's a process that he started at when they were quite young. I didn't actually know he was doing that. It's only now that it's all now coming out and making now more sense. But it's something that he manufactured, he set up, and then he, over the years, he slowly groomed them into, behaving like that and feeling like that towards me. And it's now to the point where there is almost constant lying, and I do mean constant lying, and to the point where sometimes I just don't know which end is up or down. Where's my west? Where's my north? Where's my south? It gets extremely confusing and frustrating. And sometimes I feel like I'm being led around and round and round and round in circles, and I can never quite catch anybody, because what happens is that the dad lies and the children lies. When the children lies, they can count on their father to cover up for them. And when the father lies, he can count on the children to back him up and cover for him. And this is extremely disturbing, because this is a fully functioning, fully grown adult male, a parent, who is supposed to set the example, and this is his behavior. And obviously the children are caught up in that, fully aware that this is not right, but somehow in their own mind as well, rationalizing the whole behavior as well, the whole sick situation. They are rationalizing it in their head as well, in some ways, on some level, thinking they're taking care of dad. They have to protect daddy as well from that really, really sick mother, that's always after trying to create problems, who always blow everything out of proportion, and you can feel the rest. And one of the things that, because of that constant inability of getting the truth out of them, I had started to threaten to use cameras, to get my phone out and get my recording devices and start recording everything. And but every single time those things happen, sometimes I don't have my phone, or I'm not ready for it, or I only remember after the lie had occurred, or the gaslighting, like they call it, had already gone and passed. And but this time I had, by accident, I wasn't looking for it, I caught my son in a very, basically lying and not owning up to his lie, to his not owning up to his behavior. And so I basically told him I called a family reunion where I made him sit on one end and I made my husband sit on the other end. My daughter wasn't present at the time. And this was at the time, because it was last December past, and that was still at the time when I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know, who I was married with. I didn't know what had actually, how to what to think about my relationship with my children. I was still very, very clueless, and I was still in my effort of trying to fix things, to make things better, to get everybody to force everybody really to use the thinking abilities and to be rational about things and to be reasonable. And I kept thinking that, I just did not have a clue that my husband was setting me up and setting the kids up as well to misbehave so that I will, be upset with them, and then the children will resent me more. I was aware of nothing, so I was still trying to get my husband to play his role, to be the co-parent he's supposed to be, to back me up, and to make things all right. So I was still in that process of, pulling him in, trying to grab his attention and his participation. So I made him sit down, got my recording device out. Two of them. One is a phone, one was the one of those very small, long digital voice recorder. Put them on the table and put them on. And that's where the funny part kicks in. And at the time, and I was still, even though the back of my head was recording, was not missing a beat to what was happening and everybody's reaction, but at the same time the situation was demanding, too much of me to actually stop and, react to what I was seeing. I was just too much trying to get the truth out of the situation. But basically, while I was still talking to my son, when I pulled the recorders out and when I put them on, I swear, my husband behaved just like the old vampires you see in those old movies that react against the sun, or garlic, or when they are being thrown holy water or shown the cross, and they just shrink and they back away. And my husband, literally, I swear, my wolf, I should say, behaved like that. His shoulders went up. He shrunk in his against his chair. He I'm sure maybe my mind, made that up, but it did. I mean, it was this close to go to hiss, to go, and it's every time I think about it, I just laugh. It's so funny. But that kind of situation really reinforced in my mind what they say about those people will do anything not to be exposed. They'll do anything. I mean, that is their kryptonite, I think. Being exposed, being nobody has to know. And the more I think about that reaction, the more he actually leads me as well to think about what technology can do for us, for people like me, you know, for people that are being abused, not just physically and overtly, but those of us who are in those situations with those partners that are just so under the radar, so covert, so smart, so sly. Technology could do so much to protect us, to save us from that. You know, it will be a small price to pay for the loss of our privacy, but we will gain so much from those portable technologies, you know, like the eye camera, you know, the Google Eye or the Google Glass, you know, if it could, you know, have a bigger type of battery attached to it, you know, it'll be a lifesaver. And I just can't wait for those days. Obviously, it'll be too late for me by then. Obviously, hopefully by then I'll be, you know, in a better situation. But for all of those people, I really hope that technology happens sooner than later. That was it. And I have other funny things like that you know, I have compiled in my head, and I hope I'll be able to share them with you, because whenever I don't feel all that good, sometimes remembering those funny moments, you know, or even just strange moments with my wolf, that my head managed to see it as something that's funny. It almost act like a Patronus charm, you know, like in Harry Potter, or the ridiculous charm, if you teach Harry the Patronus charm to protect himself by changing every bad situation, you know, something he's most afraid of, into something that's funny. That's my story, and I hope you can laugh with me.